The city of Eden says it has fired the dump truck driver charged in last week's crash that killed 4 linemen and injured 3 others. 4 suspects are facing more charges in Sunday's deadly mass shooting at a house party in Hickory. The largest jobs commitment in North Carolina history is coming to the Gate City. Everywhere we go, the devastation is clear, including right here. Just days ago, the town of Lansing was flooded in feet of water. Now it's flooded with people trying to help. As you see, those numbers are extremely close. Quite literally could not be closer right now. But the energy here in this Cary Bar and Grill where Michelle Morrow is watching is quite high. Coming up, we meet a triad family that's been growing thousands of the festive plant for decades. That's a lot of money. And Jackie, break this down for us. While the president pressures companies like Apple to move production out of Asia, his administration is actively engaged in trade talks with Asian countries. So what is the status of those negotiations? Many of us arrive home the same way. We park our car, we get out, and we head inside. It's so routine, most of us don't even think about it. I just want to show you how much snow accumulated overnight. I mean, you're just seeing that nice, fluffy snow covering this windshield. Heat wave on the way. I think it's already here.
See,
the wave.
That was good. Do you want to actually do it?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Wait, no, you go first.
All right. Ooh. Heat wave already here.
Heat wave, it's already here.
A striped suspect is on the loose, and it's not me. A runaway zebra has been caught on camera by eyes in the sky. The campers and snowplow Sam taught me how to jump and spin, if you can even really call it that. Take a look at that there. And this new venture is being done in collaboration with his family. That is pretty cool. Well,
it's amazing the technology that can do that.
Well, we don't even need technology, you know. Dylan, what is the weather?
I could not believe you just did that.
This is the first military parade in our nation's capital since 1991, and it's coming with 21st century high prices. According to the Hearst data team, the estimated price tag ranges between $25 and $45 million. Based on the official parade route, the average cost for every tenth of a mile is at least $2.5 million. Today's festivities will showcase around 150 military vehicles, 6,500 troops, and 50 aircraft. Today's military parade is happening as millions of Americans prepare to take part in thousands of protests across all 50 states. Organizers predict today's No Kings protest will be the strongest display of opposition to the Trump administration since he took office in January. Major cities like New York and Chicago are bracing for possible violence.
And while we always respect and protect the right to peaceful protest, there would be zero tolerance for crime, blocking traffic, graffiti, or disorderly behavior.
We're absolutely ready, and we're calling on all people who are assembling and protesting this weekend to do it peacefully.
More than 2,000 No Kings protests are planned across all 50 states, including here in North Carolina. Demonstrations are planned in cities around the Triad, including Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, Lexington, Elkin, and Sparta. In neighboring Virginia, they're happening in Galax, Martinsville, and Danville. Governor Josh Stein says he's been in contact with state and local law enforcement ahead of today's protests. In a statement shared with WXII, he says, quote, "The right to peacefully protest is sacred and enshrined in our First Amendment, and I will always work to protect that right. I urge everyone who wishes to be heard to do so peacefully and lawfully." New this morning in the Triad, police are investigating a shooting in Greensboro. Officers responded to a call on Niagara Street around 1:30 this morning. That's where they found the victim. Police say they were transported to a local hospital. There's no word yet on their condition, and no arrests have been made. Following up on breaking news from last night, Winston-Salem police have identified the woman killed in a shooting on Old Greensboro Road. Here's a look at the scene where investigators say Paris Baines was shot and killed outside her apartment around 9:30 last night. Another victim was hurt in the shooting We're told they are currently in the hospital. Police say two groups were firing at each other when the victims were hit. Authorities do not believe they were the intended targets. An investigation is underway, but so far no arrests have been made. And now to Mebane, where police say they are investigating a shooting at a home on Bateman Place. Authorities say the scene has been secured and there is one victim. No word yet on their condition. Police say the victim and the suspect knew each other, and this appears to be an isolated incident. We are working to get more information, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we get it. In Davidson County, a man and a woman are facing dozens of animal cruelty charges after deputies rescued more than 100 dogs from a suspected puppy mill. The investigation began back in December. That's when authorities were alerted to animals living in unsanitary conditions at a home. Roger and Robin McLean are charged with 26 counts of animal cruelty. The sheriff's office says these animals that were rescued are being sent to shelters across our state, as well as Virginia and New Hampshire.
The shooting happened on Bald Cypress Drive shortly before 8 o'clock this morning. That is where we find our Kelly Kendall live tonight. Kelly, what are investigators telling you?
Kenny, the Davidson County Sheriff's Office says when deputies arrived, they found a woman suffering multiple gunshot wounds inside a car on this driveway. A witness I spoke to says she's lucky to not have been shot herself. Davidson County Sheriff's Captain Chris Poole says after deputies discovered the victim, they quickly identified the shooter.
The 95-year-old shooter, who was the husband, barricaded himself inside the house. We were able later to make entry inside the house, finding the 95-year-old male shooter had self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Poole says the Criminal Investigations Division is processing the crime scene. As their investigation continues, one witness, who wishes to remain anonymous, is still wrapping her mind around what happened. She says she was driving this morning when she saw a woman distressed.
She was like waving me down. So I stopped, and she said, "He's trying to kill me."
The witness says she pulled into the driveway to call 911 for the woman when the shooter came out of the house.
He comes walking up to the passenger side door there where she was sitting, so he's right there close range. The window's still down, and he brings up the gun and he says, "Give me back my money." And I don't know exactly what it was she said because he had a gun, and then it's like pop, 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 pop several times.
Then the witness says he pointed the gun at her. She then got out of the car.
He starts walking around to the back of the car where I'm going, but then he stopped. I stopped, he stopped. Then he went back inside the house.
Now she's been left reeling from what she saw.
I just am so shaky. I just am still in kind of disbelief. I don't know why he didn't shoot me too, because he obviously was mad at me as well for being the ones to call the police and helping her in any way, shape, or form. So
we've heard from several neighbors that the victim and the shooter had a tumultuous relationship. At last check, Captain Poole says the victim is in critical condition at Baptist Hospital. Reporting live in Davidson County, I'm Kelly Kendall for WXII 12 News. For years, people have been able to pick up small bottles of Tianeptine by simply walking into most convenience stores. That won't be the case after December 1st, but people coming from all sides of the Tianeptine world say we haven't seen the last of it. Due to NC House Bill 903, Tianeptine will join the state's list of Schedule II controlled substances. It means soon you won't be able to find common Tianeptine brands like Zaza Red and Neptune's Fix on store shelves. State Representative Steve Ross was one of the bill's primary sponsors. He says alcohol law enforcement and local agencies will work together to ensure the substance isn't being sold, adding retailers have been warned about the ban.
If it's on the shelf after the first, they really don't have an excuse.
He says this level of enforcement is necessary to stop convenience stores from selling the addictive substance.
I visited vape shops and talked to the person running the shop. I said, "Do you realize this stuff right here kills people?" "I don't care. It's legal." As long as it's legal, I'm going to sell it. I mean, that's the attitude.
We visited local gas stations and vape shops to talk about tianeptine. Several said they were not carrying it, but we did find one shop in Winston-Salem that was down to its last 3 bottles of Zaza Red. Employee AJ Ali says for a store selling hundreds of products like his, the ban won't have a big financial impact. But he says he did see customers seeking it out as an opioid alternative.
From my experience, a lot of the people that get it are either people that have been going through rehab or people that are actually, they used to be veterans, you know, they got like pain or, you know, lack of motivation, and that helps with that. But, you know, like I said, they still have the bad effects.
Ali says he was alarmed to learn of the health effects and is actually glad his store won't be selling it anymore.
In our culture, anyways, it's really bad to even sell cigarettes, let alone something like opioids, you know. And if it's something similar, even though it's helping people get off of it, it's still we're glad that's off our shelves.
But the impact of tianeptine will be felt long after it's taken off shelves. Kannapolis nurse Sherry Bridges says her son was hooked on tianeptine for years. This year, he went to rehab for it. She says just as gas station heroin was new to her, it was new to treatment providers as well.
They were not as familiar with it either, but have had since he was there, have had other people come in with the same addiction to tianeptine.
Whether it's in the emergency room, whether it's in a clinic setting, you name it, people are starting to see it. Now is the big push of getting the word out as a public health issue that this is going to have some long-lasting effects in a lot of people.
We have come out the other side of this on a good note, and I'm so thankful for that, grateful for that. But just the thoughts of other families having to experience and watch, it's so hard to watch a loved one, specifically your child, hurt.
But as medical experts learn more about how to treat tianeptine addiction, other new drugs are being created.
The market keeps up with it. People are constantly creating new things for the customers' needs. So people are they're going to substitute it with something else.
Does it ever feel like you're playing whack-a-mole with some of these drugs as a legislator?
That's exactly what I've called it. Just almost like the nation as a whole has given up on it, said, you know, it's just everywhere. There's nothing you can do about it. That's not acceptable because it just gets worse every year. More and more people die. More and more families are torn apart. I want to be known as a state that says, no, we're drawing a line in the sand and we're going to fight this stuff.
Ross hopes the House Select Committee will form again to address substances such as kratom and xylazine. Though gas station heroin is banned, he and others say the fight is far from over. Reporting, I'm Kelly Kendall, WXII 12 News. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Superintendent Tricia McManus says CFO Thomas Kranz's resignation was not as sudden as it seemed Tuesday night. Now she says the focus is on setting the district up for financial success moving forward. After announcing his resignation, CFO Thomas Kranz walked out of Tuesday's school board meeting. In a press conference Thursday, Superintendent McManus said Kranz was already planning to retire at the end of this school year.
Why people say things in spur of the moment, I'm sure that, it could have been anything that happened within the room, a comment made that may have had him react quickly in the moment. But as far as surprising me, that was not the case that night.
In the meantime, Kranz, McManus, and district leaders are working to address an $8 million shortfall this year and a $16 million gap next year. McManus says the gaps were caused by a variety of things, such as the loss of federal COVID funding.
If anything, it might have been not having projections exactly where they should have been.
We asked McManus about what may or may not be on the table to make up for budget gaps. End of March, you laid out 6 or 7 ways to save money for the next fiscal year.
Yes.
A lot of parents, teachers, people are wondering why executive leadership has not been a part of that, other than potential furloughs. Would you and other members of the executive leadership team be willing to take a pay cut in order to help for losses?
So So the fact that why executive leadership is not part of that is not true. And there are other things happening that I'm not going to discuss within the budget process. And so the furloughs, everyone has agreed to the furloughs, but there are the system-wide reductions are happening from the top down.
McManus says procedures are being put in place in order to ensure that budget projections are more accurate moving forward. Right now, she says the fund balance stands at $12 million, 5.3 of which the board has the ability to spend. Live in Winston-Salem tonight, I'm Kelly Kendall for WXII 12 News.